It feels like so long ago that the Blue Jays won those 2 games against the New York Yankees as they lose again 8-2 today and get swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And in every single game, in all 3 games of this series, the Jays lose by 6. Not even close. And the sad thing about today's game was the Jays actually had a 2-0 lead. And then it dwindled away to nothing. And the funny thing is, all of their runs were scored in the 3rd. Let's get to this ball game here because this is a weird one. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in the bottom of the 1st inning gets a ball down and inside, slider down and in, and he hooks it, and it was deep and gone to left field. His 5th home run of the year, his 5th home run after being called up, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has done a really good job lately swinging the bat, and you can't say that much about many other Blue Jays. You go to the bottom of the 2nd, and with Freddie Galvis on, Danny Jansen then doubles to left field. Great job by Danny down the left field line, and Galvis comes in to score, and like I said, the Jays have a 2-0 lead. Clayton Richard through the first 2 innings, not looking too shabby. But in the 3rd, he gives up a home run to Ketel Marte. Then an RBI, was it a 2-run single? 2-run single to Kevin Cron. And then a bases-clearing triple to LeCastro. And then a 2-run shot to Carson Kelly. A 8-run inning. Now, he didn't even last the rest of that inning. He only gave up the 7 runs, and then Thomas Pannone came in and gave up the home run. The Toronto Blue Jays have not had many positive things this year. Clayton Richard in his first few starts has looked pretty good. I've liked what he's done. And people love looking at ERAs. So what's his ERA after today's 2 2/3 of 7-run ball? 7.04. Awful. And I mean, the Jays, how many hits did they have in those first few innings? They had the home run from Gurriel, then a single by Justin Smoke. Then you go to the bottom of the 2nd, Galvis singles, then Jansen doubles. 4 of your 7 hits are in the first 2 innings. You get 3 hits the rest of the way. I mean, ideally, you have a 2-0 lead, and just like that, it's an 8-2 game, and it's hard to find much offense and much confidence after that. I get that. But my goodness, there's not a lot of positives. I mean, like let's go here. Pannone in an inning and a 3rd, give up 2 hits, walked 2 guys, and I give up the 1 earned run, obviously, off the 2-run shot from Carson Kelly. Crazy thing is about Carson Kelly, guys, I get a little story here. Now, first thing first, if he's watching this video, that's crazy. I don't think he is, but Carson Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, is the same guy that I watched him play in A-ball. Same with Brock Holt. I saw those guys play in minor leagues, down in the very, very low of the minor leagues, and it was really cool to see a guy like Carson Kelly come up here and do great things in the big leagues. It's awesome. Now, Derek Law threw 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings, gave up 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out a batter. Well, he didn't give up a run to Derek Law. That drops his ERA to 5.89. Nothing too good there. And Elvis Luciano pitched 2 innings. He walked 2 guys. That's kind of been the theme for him. Finding the strike zone's been an issue. Didn't give up a hit, though. Didn't give up a run and struck out 1 batter. Great job by Luciano. So his ERA coming into the ball game, the 18-year-old, was 6.39. He leaves with 5.93. Good job by him. Again, still throwing strikes has to be a priority for him. He's got the hard throw. He's got the hard fastball for a young kid, but he's got to throw strikes with it. And that's been the problem we've learned with Elvis Luciano here this season. And then Joe Biagini comes out there because we haven't seen him in a while. Throws an inning, no hits, no walks, couple strikeouts, ERA of 3.14 for Big Joe. Offensively, like I said, only 7 hits in the ballgame. Gurriel had 2 of them. He was 2 for 4 with the home run and an RBI. Good job by Lourdes Gurriel. Smokey had the 1 hit. Teoscar Hernandez got another hit. He was 1 for 4 in the ballgame. Galvis was 1 for 4, obviously. And Danny Jansen, a guy who has been horrendous offensively, did you see that catch there today he had? You know what? I used to play catcher back in the day. Getting a pop-up right behind home plate is one of the hardest things out there because you got to read the spin on the ball. You got to read it. It's such a hard play. And to see Danny Jansen make that ridiculous catch there early in the ball game, awesome play there. And he goes 2 for 3 with an RBI and he walks once. So, yeah, his batting average is only 175. It ain't spiffy. He's got a 265 on-base percentage. Again, not the greatest. He's walked 16 times. That's not bad. He only struck out 38 times in 47 games. That's not too bad, considering the Blue Jays are a team that strikes out a stupid amount of times. Considering Danny Jansen has 38 Ks in 47 games, that's not bad at all. Now, ideally, he is a 6th double on the year. He only has 12 RBIs. He's only hitting 175. Yeah, those numbers aren't great. But for a catcher, I'd love him to be a great fielder first. And what we're learning from Danny Jansen, he's got a great arm. We knew that right when he got called up. His bat is taking time. That's clear. But what we also knew is that he's a great catcher. He's a very good catcher. I don't mean that as just that position as a whole. I mean behind the dish, the signs, the frame job he always does. He's a great catcher. He continues to grow at that. He continues to get better at that. Then you got to work on that hitting. But for Danny Jansen to see him go 2 for 3 today is great to see. I have nothing but good things to say about Danny Jansen. He's a guy who stays calm, doesn't let anything get too much, does a great job calling ball games behind the dish, and the odd time here and there when he pitches in with some offense, it's great to see. Now, I spent 6.5 minutes talking about this abysmal ball team because they're on pace for a stupidly awful season, one of the worst in the team's history. Why do I say that? Well, let's do the math here. They have 42 losses right now, okay? We're not even halfway through the year. Double that. 84 losses. That's awful. And that's only, and then that was with the pretty good start to the year. So this could just get a lot worse for the Toronto Blue Jays, but we're going to have to just take it day by day, guys. Now, if you guys watched the last video, it was kind of a shorter one than usual because the minor leaguers didn't play. I mean, they were playing later in the day, so I couldn't really dwell on that. So, we're talking about 2 games for each team. All right, we're going to have some fun here. Let's start with the Buffalo Bisons, and there were some pretty good games here. I got to say, there was quite a few positives to take from these ball games. Now, in yesterday's game on Saturday, Anthony Alford continues to hit the ball well. I don't know what the heck's going on with him. He was 2 for 3 in that game yesterday with the RBI. He walked twice, and he came around to score once, averaging out to 239. Anthony Alford's really starting to swing the bat well as of late, and that's awesome to see. And on the mound, Andrew Sopko had a good first start there in AAA Buffalo. Has been rough ever since then, but today he went 5 innings, 5 hits, only 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 4. And his ERA is still 6.82, but it's great to see him pick up the first win of his AAA career, and it's good to see him throw a good start there. It's awesome to see from Andrew Sopko. Now, let's go to today's ball game where they lost 7-6. Where are we here? Anthony Alford 1 for 6 in the ball game, so his average dropped 2 points to 237. But still, over the last couple days, Anthony Alford doing a really good job at the bat. Billy McKinney went 3 for 6 in the ball game. Reese McGuire, the catcher, went 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs. He's now hitting 254, another catcher in the Jays system who really hasn't found any traction yet in the minor leagues. But as of late, he's hitting well. He's now hitting 254, as I said. And on the mound, David Phelps, a guy that I think, well, I know for sure, very soon, guys, is going to be joining the Blue Jays bullpen. A guy that was picked up in the offseason. They knew he was hurt. They knew he was coming back from a big injury. However, he put up great numbers before. So they give the guy a chance. They wait till June. And then he starts his rehab. He went out there today in AAA, went an inning. He started actually the game, but he was the opener, if you want to call him that. He went an inning, didn't give up a hit, didn't walk a batter, struck out a guy. Clean job there for David Phelps. I think in his rehab so far, he hasn't given up a run or anything like that. So it's good to see from him, and I assume very, very soon that he'll be up here with the big club. Now the question will be then, who's going? What's next? Who's the guy that's going to be gone? Right? We can look at the bullpen and we can pick names out all we want, but if you're bringing up a guy like David Phelps, who's that next guy? All right, so now let's go down to the AA New Hampshire Fisher Cats. And I think, did they win both games? I think they did. Yeah, 5-4 and 2-0. So let's go back to the 5-4 game yesterday. Where is it here? Forrest Wall went 2 for 5, my boy. Santiago Espinal went 1 for 4, walked once and scored twice. He's hitting 280. Riley Adams, after that really good surge that he had at one point, has kind of really slowed down. Now he's 0-for-4 in the game yesterday with a walk and 3 strikeouts. His average was north 300 not too long ago. It's now 265, so it's come back down. But I'm assuming he's going to find himself at some point. And on the mound, a guy to really keep an eye on, Zach Lowe, a guy that was in, I think was he in Dunedin to start the season? I'm pretty sure he was. No, he actually was not, excuse me. He started the year in New Hampshire, and he is there right now, and he's pitching pretty damn good. Yesterday, he pitched 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. It was not an earned run. He walked 3, but he struck out 8. His ERA is only 3.31. Great job there by Zach Lowe in his outing. Now let's go to the Sunday game, today's ball game, where it was a 2-0 win for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Forrest Wall continues to rake. He was 2 for 3 in the game today, averaged up to 304 with a walk and a run scored. A guy that I think is going to be in AAA very soon. Santiago Espinal was 1 for 4, and we've been talking about Chad Spanberger as he's been swinging the bat a little bit better as of late, and he got a little bit of a boost in the lineup. He was 1 for 3, and in the 2-0 game, he got both RBIs. He's 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. His average up to 214 now, and it's good to see Spanberger starting to find himself. And it seems like remember he was brought over here as a first baseman. Remember that? I'm pretty sure he was. I could be wrong. But, again, I'm seeing a lot of right field and left field when it comes to him playing. So if you're a Jays fan, you see a guy playing well and you see all that kind of stuff, it's good stuff to see, people. All right, so good job there. But Riley Adams, again, struggles. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout there today as well. So he's struggling, and this is something that Jays fans will absolutely love. Nate Pearson. All right? Well, you know the final score of 2-0, so you know it must have gone pretty good. 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, did not walk a batter, and struck out 3. His ERA drops to 2.92 for Nate Pearson, and he is absolutely, other than a couple rough ones, he's been dominating AA, and it's great to see from Nate Pearson. For Jays fans who, we're watching games where you're giving up 8 runs, 6 runs, 7 runs, all that kind of crazy, your pitching sucks. So to see a guy in the minor leagues throwing really hard and dominating at AA at 22 years old, it's nice. It is nice to see. All right, so now we're going to go to the Dunedin Blue Jays, where they played their 2 games and won on Saturday and then lost today. However, I'm going to take a big positive actually out of that loss there today. But let's go to Saturday's ball game first. Cal Stevenson 1 for 5. Logan Warmoth continues to play well. He was 1 for 2. He walked 3 times. And he came home to score twice, averaged up to 294 for Logan Warmoth. You're finally seeing this guy sort of swing the bat well, and I'm really hoping this guy gets a call to AA at some point soon. Bo Bichette actually started the game. He was 1 for 2, walked 3 times, and scored twice. Great to see Bo Bichette out there doing his thing. And that was it for him. Alejandro Kirk, my man, the catcher, he was 2 for 3 with a couple runs scored. 1 run scored, 2 RBIs, and he walked twice. He's hitting 346 there in Dunedin. Great to see there for the young man. And that's it. Nobody on the mound that did any good. So let's go down to the 13-7 loss. Now, pitching-wise, there's not... In the 13-7 loss, there's usually never a positive. But the one thing I'm going to take out of this game is that John Harris, former first-round pick of the Blue Jays, has taken his sweet old time getting up there. Developing. But he was injured basically all year so far. And he's on that rehab stint now. I'm assuming he's going to go into AAA and pitch. And you know what? I'm not opposed to that. Because who the heck do they have up there right now pitching? They have Andrew Sopko. That's okay. Ryan Fearbend. You saw an opener today in David Phelps. So there's clearly a spot available. John Harris, he got lit up. He didn't play very well. He pitched 2 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 1 walk, struck out 6 guys. But he gave up 3 home runs. But again, a guy that, is on a rehab, hasn't pitched at all. So he got thrown into a game, and yeah, he had a rough outing. But again, it's a guy that we want to see in AAA this year, and you want to see what this guy can do. You want to see what he's got, all right? So not really a positive, but more of like a keep an eye on kind of feel. All right, and as for the bats, Logan Warmoth went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He walked and scored a run as well. So the average dropped 2 points from the day before, but he's still hitting 292 is Logan Warmoth. Great to see there. And Demi Olamoye, I think he's the Canadian boy. He was 2 for 3 with a couple RBIs and 3 runs scored. Just a shade over 200 batting average for him. Again, still very low, but hey, positive nonetheless. And Samad Taylor, acquired a few years ago in the Joe Smith trade, with the Cleveland Indians. He went 3 for 4 with a couple RBIs and a run scored there today. Again, his average is still only 186 even after that ball game, so you could tell he's struggling this year. I mean, his bat has never really been a strong suit. Even last year in Lansing and A-ball, he only hit like 230-something, so I don't know if he's ever going to turn out to be anything for this ball club, but seeing him put up a good game, he's still like a 21-year-old there in high A-ball, so keep an eye on the kid. All right, now let's go down to Lansing, and there's not a lot to get with when it comes to these guys. Griffin Conine, I think he had he didn't play. I don't think it was in the second in today's game. I think he played yesterday and went 1 for 5, if I'm not mistaken. He went 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored, struck out twice. Not the greatest game for him, but nonetheless, Hagen Danner, again, the guy that I was talking about in I think a couple of videos ago, he was 1 for 4 in the game with a run scored and walked once as well. His average is still, I think, 172, however. And I think it was in the next game. There's really nothing. I'm just going to check to make sure I don't miss anything. My boy Winkowski had a rough night there in A-ball, but you know what? That's okay. They all have rough nights here and there. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot. Nope, that's it. Okay. So for the Blue Jays, they have an off day tomorrow. And you know what? You know why that's good, people? The Raptors. Game 5. Tomorrow. That's why it's good. All right? So the Jays have a day off tomorrow. And then they head to Baltimore. If the standings say anything, this series might get ugly. The reason I mean ugly is because these teams are bad. The Jays are 23 and 42, and the Orioles are 20 and 45. That's bad. That's really bad. So I don't know what the heck's going to happen. Trent Thornton on the mound for the Blue Jays, and John Means on the mound for the Orioles in Game 1. And then Game 2, it's Edwin Jackson right now, and David Hess. Those are the two starting pitchers there in that game on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday, Marcus Stroman on the mound for the Blue Jays, and Gabriel, I want to say Noah? I want to say that's how you pronounce his name. Y-N-O-A. I'm going to say Noah. If I'm wrong, then I apologize. But and is that there's not a 4-gamer? No, then we go to Houston after that. Let's get to the Raptor game tomorrow. How about that, people? Let's just get to the Raptor game tomorrow night, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys did not enjoy the ball game today, but you enjoyed talking about the young players, as, to be honest, I enjoy doing it. Smack that like button, do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, the video, this team, the minor leagues, all that crazy stuff. I want to hear everything you guys have, all your opinions on this team, and all that stuff. And, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. And Twitter is down below. Follow up, guys. Send me a DM. Do all that great stuff. And check out my main man, Mo Buckets, on Twitter. Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. He's a fantastic guy. Awesome content. He posted the Gurriel Jr. home run. I'm pretty sure he posted the Danny Jansen awesome catch that he had early in the game. If you didn't see it, go check it out, guys. Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. All right, and I will talk to you guys Raptors edition, Game 5, NBA Finals. The Raptors look to win their first NBA championship. Kevin Durant is questionable. We're going to have to see where that plays out there tomorrow night. I will be there in Jurassic Park. Well, will I be actually in the square itself? I don't know. I'm going to try and get down there about 5, 6 o'clock in that range. Be there 3 or 4 hours before tip-off. It is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. And let's go Raptors! And as for the Blue Jays, like we said, they take on the Baltimore Orioles for a 3-game set starting on Tuesday night, 7:05 first pitch at Camden Yards. Trent Thornton, John Means on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles, who's been very good for the O's this season. He is, in 60 innings, he's 2.67 ERA, a 5-4 record. When you have a winning record on the Baltimore Orioles, that's something to be proud of. All right, so we're going to have to see how that game plays out, guys, on Tuesday, 7 o'clock first pitch. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.